What up, Grizzly Gang? It's your Grizzly Gang leader, Grizzly Martian. Hello. So, I guess first of all, my mind has been racing today about so many different things. And not in a bad way. Just processing all the mysteries of the universe, I guess. And other stuff. Mysteries of the mind. More like it. But, funny enough, mysteries of the mind.
Some news coming out of the CIA that you'd like to share.
Yeah, so we were actually just notified that the CIA went in and took documents out of ODNI, multiple boxes pertaining to the JFK files as well as MK Ultra. The reason why this is troubling is there was an executive order that the president had directed the full declassification of JFK, but then also to the MK Ultra files. The CIA famously has said that, all documents were released and other documents had been destroyed. So these are allegedly those documents that apparently never existed, and so very troubling. I did just talk to Chairman Comer, and we are sending in the next hour or so a preservation of documents request to the CIA. I have calls into the White House, to the director of the CIA himself, and so obviously as this develops, we'll keep everyone up to date, but strange times we're living in, that's for sure.
Does the CIA have jurisdiction to go into Gabbard's office like that and take documentation?
Well, the CIA does not have jurisdiction to work against an executive order by the president. And so the fact that someone did this when the president is out of country, from what I gather, I believe that Director Radcliffe is with him. And so this seems like it was an internal coup, to be honest.
I was going to say allegedly, but no. That's literally what happened. The CIA went into her office in the middle of the night and took a bunch of documents that were like classified, declassified MK Ultra files and stuff about JFK. And they went in there and yanked them. Fascinating. And I mean, doesn't surprise me at all. And apparently those were like some of the... Because, pretty much everything that we know about MK Ultra is a very small portion of everything that was actually going on. Because apparently they destroyed a bunch of files and lost a bunch of files, but then there was a warehouse with a room or something that had like 3,000 files or something, and that was like it. And so everything that came out is because of that. And because of a whistleblower that we even know all that. But apparently she had some new, older files, I guess, but new to all of us. And I guess they were planning on releasing them or something, and they snatched them up. Took them away. And that's why I said, funny that I was talking about mysteries of the mind. Because, dude, you know why? Isn't it so funny, guys, that they had files of MK Ultra and JFK files all together? Wonder why? Why would that be? those two things couldn't overlap in very strange ways, right? I mean, the fuck is his name? Lee Harvey Oswald, right? So much weird shit with him. And then I find it strange that Jack Ruby, the guy who shot Lee Harvey Oswald out in the street, was after that, he had no recollection of actually shooting Lee Harvey Oswald. And then, after he got apprehended, Jolly West, one of the top MK Ultra scientists, was, checking him out and treating him psychologically after that whole event. And he was with him for like 24 hours. And then after that, Jack Ruby was declared insane by Jolly West. And Jack Ruby was saying a bunch of crazy things about, like, Jews in the street and stuff, and, like, all this weird shit about, like, demons and monsters and a bunch of crazy shit. And he lost his mind after that, but he didn't remember actually doing the shooting. Strange. And he apparently Jolly West declared that he shot him because he was in an episode of epileptic seizures. Seems normal. That all seems fine and dandy. There is so many things. I mean, a lot. I can make a pretty good guess, honestly, just based on everything I know about all of that, and then based on my own experiences of how deep you can go actually into the universe, do really weird things just using your mind. And I'm sure there's a lot of things in those files that would implicate a lot of obvious things. And then I think there's probably some shit in there, guys, that would blow our minds. So we'll see what happens with all of that. I don't know. I am in a very reflective space today about so much shit. And I mean, it's real weird because I was also, and I will, and I have talked in the past, and I kind of talk a lot about reality and like weird things and like manifestation and how much you can like shift all of reality and the way the universe is like responding to you, like what shows up and what actually happens. And but it gets to a level, depending on certain things, it gets to a level that is actually, it's actually insane. And it's kind of unsettling. It's an odd thing of like, this has to be fake because of everything that's happening, and this is the realest shit that I've ever experienced in my life. This is the core of everything. It's real weird. And I actually have to be careful because whatever that thing is, I am able to draw it in, like act like a magnet for all this type of shit in a very aggressive way sometimes. And it can be a gift and it can be a curse. So I actually have to be kind of careful sometimes with where all my thoughts go and like what I'm constantly thinking about, like ruminating on. I have to be careful to try to let like positive things or let my head like clear a little bit, because if I focus too much on certain things for extended periods of time and throughout weird shifts of my internal state, really weird shit starts happening. But I was also thinking about, it's real weird because lately I've been posting everywhere like always, but I've especially been focusing on Facebook. Like getting views over there and growing my following and letting that part of my content creation on that platform blossom. And you know what? I have consistently been getting a shitload of views for me on Facebook. And I've actually done this in the past too. Like on Snapchat, on Spotlight for a while there, I was so focused on, I was posting everywhere, but I was so focused on my Spotlight posts on Snapchat doing really well. And I kept doing that, and I was the top content creator. They kept sending me notifications that I was the top content creator for 6 weeks in a row. So, and shit is just, it's a very strange world, dude. It really is. And I'm kind of just existing and trying to figure things out and trying to figure out why the world responds the way it does. I've always kind of been doing that, and I started getting very loud answers years ago. And the answers I got were so interesting, but also confusing. So I had to keep digging. I saw a little crack in the window to the simulation, and I said, "What the fuck is that? That's really unsettling. I kinda don't feel good, but I have to know what's over there." And so I started chipping away at the crack, and I opened it up a little bit more. And I would peek my head in and look around. Like, what the fuck, dude? Is that... And then it would get pretty crazy, just leaving my head in there for a while, so I would have to get back on the other side of the glass and, still look at it over there, see, that's weird. And I kind of walk around, think about it, and I go, I kind of want to go back and see if that shit's still... Was it really that weird? So I go back, check it out again, and what do you know? Yep, same type of shit, weird as fuck. And every time, a little more exciting and a little less unsettling. Still unsettling, but less. Alright, dude. Well, this is, it's the end of the week, Well, basically. This is my decompression episode. I guess. Gonna have a good weekend. Have my kiddos over here. And it was actually 2 of their birthdays just this past week and weekend. And so, got some fun stuff we're gonna do. Got some cool gifts for them, so it'll be great. And, you'll see me around. Alright. Take it easy, guys. Bye.